Well, our next guest joining us here in the studio has done something remarkable. Fazal Manekia has committed to giving his employees a 1-year salary for every year they've worked in his company in his will. And as a result, the fortunes of his staff have changed overnight. And it all happened on the 15th of January this year. He actually went ahead and he gave out 5 million dirhams. And here to tell about this story and also share some of the insights in his incredibly successful 40-year career, Fazal is joining us here in the studio. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for getting me in, Kesh.
We'll get you in nice and close to the microphone. Thanks for coming in.
Okay, is that good enough?
No, you sound fantastic.
Okay.
This idea to give back to your workers, congratulations on doing this. Where did this idea come from?
My mother was 92 when she passed last year. And a couple of weeks before she passed, she said to me, I wish I had done more charity. And for a woman who had done charity all her life, she was a social welfare administrator for the whole country of India, for the community. And for her to say that I would have done more charity, it stirred something in me.
It must have surprised you.
It did, because she did a lot of charity. And for her to say that, I said to myself, then I got to do more, I got to do it now. There's really no point waiting. You have to do it at the right time. When you do it, when you're average 80, 90 passing away, and you give it to people 60, and now you're really giving it, you're gone. It's of no use to you. So you're not giving something that you really need. So it's best to do it when you're alive.
So when your mother had this message, she's passing away at 92, there are a lot of options that you can do when it comes to being charitable.
Yes.
Why did you decide to be charitable and give back to your workers?
Sorry, but here we call them family members, team members, colleagues, extended family. But that's not the only thing we did or we do. We have currently 2 schools for autistic children. So we started with one and now we are the second. We have 70 children there and they're looking at opening a third one there. And then we have a Merint Foundation that does work, and we have 100 kids that we sponsor. Some want to be police officers now, some want to be engineers, great hopes. Then there are people we work with who are blind, destitute people, we build homes for them. Then there's people in Africa, we give them solar panels and dig wells for them to get water. So we do all that, and there's fun in that. There's like I say, joy of giving.
Well, we're going to get onto that foundation very
Right.
soon. A lot of that work where you are running those 2 schools or those therapy centres for
Yes.
children of determination. But going back to this idea of giving your your family, I should say, your family a year's salary for every year that they've worked in the company. This is going in your will, and you know when you're putting this idea forward, was anyone negative, or was anyone saying Fazal, no, this is a great idea, but you can't do this? There are other things we can do here. Any resistance?
No, not really. There were marks of exclamation saying, is that true? Is that what you're going to do? They were kind of surprised. But would people tell me don't do it? No.
Is it a one-off, or are you planning on doing it each year?
Well, since we started our company more than 40 years ago, we are sharing our profits with our colleagues, with our team members every year. So they do get that every year share of profits. This was not from a company. This was from an individual. It's like executing a will. So it's done once. A will can't be done again and again. So yeah, it's a one-time thing.
Well, on your success, you've been tremendously successful for a sustained period, 40 years in your work. What do you put down as some of those pillars that have made you successful and kept you successful for so long?
Even now, the organization works with team leaders. I have people who lead the team. We have divisions and we have heads, and I rely on them. So the idea is I think people is power. You empower people, you treat them well, you keep them well, and they give the best results. They perform. And I think that's the key.
Yeah, Richard Branson talks about, I want to look after my employees well enough that they can leave, but they don't want to. So they're qualified. We've trained them, and they're good enough to leave at work at other companies, but they don't want to. They want to stay where they are.
Yeah, somewhere you're right, but we make sure that as they get more experienced, they have to get promoted. As they get better, they must get better positions. If they can't and they have to leave for a better offer, I'm all for it. Good luck to you.
Yeah, the employees must have just been ecstatic when they found out this news.
Oh my God, they were in awe. And we had people.
How was the news delivered to the employee? Was it an email? Did you make a speech? How did you deliver the news to the staff?
We had a big party, 300-400 people. We took a place in Sharjah, a huge big place, and there the surprise announcement was made at the party on the 24th of December.
But the reaction must have been extraordinary. What are some of the stories that you've heard from the staff of this windfall they've received?
Like I said, they were in awe. Somebody said, I'm going to get my daughter married because I have the money now. Somebody said that I'll be free of debt. I've never been free of debt in my entire life, so I'm going to pay off my debts. Somebody said, I'm going to buy a small house in my village. So things like that, they were very, very happy, and they didn't believe it then till they actually saw their packets come in on the 15th of Jan.
Well, yeah, we tend to be cynical in this day and age, unfortunately. But people do, and you've been successful for so long, and I'm guessing it's something you would encourage other people to do, to invest in the joy of giving?
100%. I would not only encourage, I would urge them to do it. And at some point, I start to feel that even this giving is kind of selfish.
Why?
Because you get more than you give. You see the smile on their faces, you see what you brought them out of. And for what you've given, I think you get much more. And once you start enjoying that receiving, then you want to receive more, which means you have to give more.
Well, this is a remarkable story. I've got in front of me part of the letter that you sent out to your family, the family of which work at the company. As each year goes by, I feel closer to you all. I hope it's the same amongst you. Our cooperation and mutual support are exemplary and only gets better. I'm sure it will continue. It continues to say that I've announced that each of you will be getting, as a one-off, 1 month's basic salary for each of the uninterrupted years that you are a part of, worked, and have been with the Merint family, which went ahead on the 15th of January. Congratulations on doing this, but also it's not the only way that you are giving back. As we said, you do have the foundation that do loads of work. You said you do predominantly working with autistic children. You're working with helping the blind, even in water wells that are happening in Uganda. It must be sometimes really hard to try and narrow it down to just keep to a couple of different charities to work with. What makes you want to work with particular charities with your foundation?
That's a challenge. Giving is easy. Writing a check is not so difficult. But to get it to the right place is the important thing. Like I read some time back that 87% of what you gave to a particular organization
goes up in
administration,
goes
in air travel, 5-star hotels.
Advertising.
So what does really go down? So here we put a lot of effort. Like I have myself been to those little places in Uganda, 4 hours drive, Bangalore, Darjeeling, you name it. I've been there, seen that is going to the right place. But once you grow more and more, then you can't do it yourself. Of course, you have people, but diligence is required. And if you're there, you also get to see those smiles. Sitting in an office writing a check doesn't cut it for me.
So a lot of people have that view. I can't take it with me. I can't take it with me in the grave. I may as well make people happy and share the joy of the fruits of my success.
It's wonderful if people do that. But I don't know too many who give it during their lifetime, but many do.
I mean,
many do, I'm sure.
Culturally, it's different. I think there is certain countries and certain cultures have a different belief of when it is the right time to give. Why have you decided to also go public with this story? Is this to try and inspire others to similarly give?
I would love that this takes effect on some people, and who have not done it before, they start doing it. Nothing would give me greater joy than that. But did I really go for this story? No. It's my son-in-law and the people around me and my office people, oh, you got to do it. I said, no article, no nothing. No, you got to do it. Even here I am because they said you got to do it. So it's not me, really.
And what have you found the response has been since this story? Because you've been not just here, you've been in newspaper articles, you've been across a lot of sections of the media.
Yeah. People start to recognize what you've been doing because they didn't know before. But is that what you really wanted?
Have you worked out who some of your friends are? Have you found some peers within the business circle are ringing up and they're saying, what are you doing? Have you had anyone saying, you're crazy?
Yeah, people have, in big positions, they've called saying, can I get a job in your company? I said, yeah, you can be my boss. That's the job.
Yeah, there we go. If you want more details on all the work that you're doing, particularly with the foundation, as I said, 2 schools are running. They're therapy centres for children of determination, mainly autistic. That website is Merint, MERINT, determination.com. And there you can find out all the details about the acts of giving that's happening both in the UAE and across various sections of Uganda. And Fazal, congratulations on all your work in business with the Merint Group, but also the idea of giving this salary back. Any pressure from staff to maybe up it for next year, 2 months, 3 months for each year?
They will get their profit share or the bonus, the profit share every year, and they're quite happy with that. It's an annual function that we have. So,
what's your last piece of advice for any corporation that's thinking about putting in a policy of giving back, and maybe they're sitting on the fence at this stage?
I think it'll be a repetition of what I just said, is that one has to do due diligence to make sure it's going to the right place and enjoy giving.
Well, Fazal, thank you very much for giving back, understanding that how important it is, and also being public about the joy of giving and the rewards that you can get from within.
Thank you, Kesh. Wonderful being here.
Thank you very much. There is Fazal Manekia, the chairman and the managing director of the Merint Group. As we said, an extraordinary announcement, that one-off 1-month basic salary for each of the uninterrupted years that many of his employees, or should I say family members, have been working with the company. What do you think of that? Let us know your thoughts on 058686 100.